Hi and welcome to Drummer's Review. I'm Nolly and today we're going to be taking a look at a DW Performance shell pack and snare drum. DW are without doubt one of the most highly regarded drum manufacturers in the world, with a lot of their reputation having been built upon their fantastic Collector's series, considered by many to be the benchmark for contemporary maple drums. The Performance series sticks close to the Collector's recipe, being handcrafted from the same maple stock in the same factory, but features the HVX shell construction unique to the Performance shells, smaller turret lugs, and also a more limited choice of finishes. Today's kit is finished in chrome shadow and consists of 10x8 and 12x9 inch rack toms, a 16x14 inch floor tom, a 22x18 inch bass drum, and a 14x6.5 inch snare. Looking at online retailers, you can get the shell pack for just over the £2,000 mark, while the snare sells separately around 500, so all in all you'd be looking at around £2,500 for the full set. This has been one of the most highly requested kits in the comment sections of our videos, so we're keen to see what it's all about. Let's hear a bit more of it in action before we go any further though. Unboxing the kit, I have to be honest and say none of the review team particularly liked the chrome shadow finish. There's something that somehow doesn't look premium about it to us, and it is a nightmare for fingerprints. That said, some of the other finish options look awesome, and obviously this is extremely subjective, so you may disagree completely. Putting the aesthetics aside, setting up the kit was a really pleasurable experience. The tuning action is silky smooth, The drums have a solid sense of quality to them. To use an analogy, it feels like sitting in a luxury car where everything operates with reassuring weight and precision. The drums come with DW heads made by Remo USA, with the instantly recognizable coated/clear batters on the toms and kick, a reverse dot batter on the snare, and a vented but unported gloss black resonant on the bass drum. The bass drum also comes stock with a small pillow at each end, held in place by Velcro. To us, the sound of the kick is perhaps a little underwhelming as a result of how muffled it is. Don't get me wrong, it's full-bodied and punchy sounding, but to us, it feels like being unported and heavily damped. It means it doesn't offer as much character as it could if it was allowed to resonate a bit more. It also isn't as impactful and direct as it would be with a front port. It's a safe way to present the drum since it's very controlled and tuning becomes far less crucial, but we'd urge players to experiment with various configurations to get the best out of it. Hitting the rack toms for the first time, they have that instantly recognizable DW sound. They're very responsive and have massive weight behind them, but they also feel fast and articulate. It's an incredibly polished, almost pre-processed sound with a deep timbre and clean sustain. In a way, it's kind of safe, but it's also probably the tom sound that most drummers have in their head. The floor tom sounds huge with a powerful resonance that fills the room. A drum like this proves a point that you don't need to go to a 16x16 to get depth to your floor tom sound. In fact, arguably, having more space between the resonant head and the floor should reduce the low-end cancellation. Plus, of course, the heavy-duty floor tom legs prevent that resonance from leaching away. The snare is absolutely killer. It's loud and cutting, but very articulate, and it's also got a beefiness that hits you in the chest. Here you can really get the most out of the ultra-fine threaded true pitch tension rods. They allow super fine tuning that means you can get a perfectly straight note out of the snare. They also seem to reduce the amount of slippage during playing too, which is a huge benefit. Whether with the wires on, disengaged, or played cross stick, it's really impossible for us to fault this drum. As we've mentioned a couple of times already, the shell hardware here really is world class, potentially even the most impressive aspect of the drums. The quality and solidity of operation is second to none, and innovations like the snare's mag throw-off and the suspension-mounted rack toms, and the attention to detail and the subtle increase of the hoop thickness from rack tom to floor tom to snare, and the multiple badges on each drum, making it easy to get the logos visible all around, they all add up to a setup that feels not only luxurious, but extremely functional. The only disappointment hardware-wise is that this kit was sold with no tom holders, so that's an extra investment that you're going to have to make if you don't already own a set. DW collector's kits are known for commanding a premium price tag, especially here in the UK, so we can see the appeal here in the Performance series. You get many of DW's most desirable features and traits at a more affordable cost. Obviously, if you want exotic timbers and finishes or ultimate bragging rights, you still have to go for the collectors. But for a USA-made maple kit from one of the most desirable of the big brands, the Performance series is well worth checking out. At around $2,500, this is still right up in the high-end category though. And as such, it does face competition from basically all of the other major brands, who all have top-end maple shelled offerings. But this is where DW's reputation may swing potential customers in their favour. Finish and stock bass drum configuration aside, we found this kit extremely impressive, but as ever, we love to hear from you about what you think, so definitely leave us a comment below, click on the subscribe button and the bell icon so that you can get notifications of our future videos, and we look forward to seeing you next time on Drummers Review.